Hello and welcome to the Pre-Chiro podcast. My name is Dr. Ben Glass. I'm a chiropractor. We've created this podcast to help contextualize the path to becoming a chiropractor for any prospective students out there that are considering this path. Today we have Dr. Phil Mcmaster from New Zealand Chiropractic College, the president. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with us and give some value to these students that are considering this path. So can we just get started by you introducing yourself and maybe sharing a little bit about what your background was before you became a chiropractor and how you discovered chiropractic?
Sure. Thanks, Ben, for having me on. I really appreciate the time difference and making it work. So thank you for that. My experience in terms of finding chiropractic or chiropractic finding me is very similar to what most prospective students' experiences, and that is that I went to a chiropractic career talk at a local chiropractor's office. I'd never been to a chiropractor before. I was pretty naive. I didn't really know what it was about, but I was very interested in something to do with the human body, and I was going to be a physiotherapist. So I went to a chiropractic career evening, and they started talking a whole different language that made so much sense to me, even as a 17-year-old. It just resonated with me, all of the ideas behind how chiropractic worked, and the philosophy really grabbed me. And so at that point I was hooked, and I decided that was what I wanted to do. But of course there wasn't a college in New Zealand at that point. This was in 1980, so I had to get myself organized to go to the States. I went to Sherman College of Straight Chiropractic, as it was back then, in South Carolina, graduated in 1985, came back to New Zealand, went and set up practice in the place that I always considered to be home, in the middle of the North Island. Was practicing there for 30 years, practice of my dreams. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And during that time, some friends of mine and myself, because we were lacking chiropractors in New Zealand and it was so expensive for us to go to the States, we decided that maybe we should think about starting a college in New Zealand. That's what we did. The college opened in 1994, has been going ever since, and is enjoying a great reputation for producing really, really good chiropractors who are ready to practice. I've been teaching at the college since it started in 1994. I used to fly up one day a week to teach philosophy. I was the chairman of the board of trustees for 10 years before becoming the president of the college 7.5 years ago. Tried to make that as quick as I could.
You definitely did. Thank you. Appreciate that. So it's been 26 years since the school was started and initiated. Can you talk about the evolution of the school and how far it's come and where it's at today?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I think I'm the only dinosaur left from the beginning, so I kind of know the whole story. And like any startup organization, there are a lot of challenges. We were chiropractors, not educators, so we had to learn a lot very quickly. So in order to get things up and running in terms of accreditation and having academic rigor and all that sort of stuff, we were a little challenged, but we got some really good help. And the college, at a couple of different junctures, was perhaps in danger, to be fair, and usually that's because of lack of money. Education is such an expensive thing, as I only know too well now, but didn't really understand at the time. So in 1999, it was a little bit of a shake there. There was a financial crisis, and the college had bought a building, and that didn't work out very well, and it was in danger of having to close, but we negotiated that one. And in 2002, again, some financial troubles. We're just about to put the college to the wall. I became the interim college president at that time for nearly a year. We managed to turn things around and get some backing from some friends that I'd made while I was in the States. These people were college presidents, notably Guy Reekman, who was at Palmer College at that point, Brian McCauley, who was the interim president at Sherman, and Carl Cleveland. And those three colleges helped us out, massively. And we managed to trade our way through that. And now we've gone from strength to strength. We hold the highest accreditation rating of any college in the CCEA. That's Australasia, which has reciprocity around the world. We also hold the highest accreditation possible with the NZQA, which is our New Zealand accreditation framework. So we have evolved, as you say, from very early stages in small classes to now where we have a waiting list, if you like, and it's a competitive entry. We only take 75 students per year because we recognise that one of our strengths here is that we have a very boutique family supportive environment where everyone knows everyone else. The faculty know you by your first name and you get to know who they are. And we're fiercely protective of that because that is one of our unique things here in New Zealand. So we only take 75 students per year. We take them one time a year. Our academic calendar is a little different than what you're used to in North America. We start at the end of January and we finish. Well, our students are doing their final exams now for the year, and we have 2 semesters.
Okay. And so if someone is able to be one of those 75 students and they enter into the college as a first-year student, can you talk a little bit about what their experience will be like, help orient them to the surroundings that they'll encounter, some of the faculty and the student life?
Sure. We're a 5-year degree granting program, but we only teach the last 4 years. So a little bit like North American students, you have to complete certain prerequisites before you can start at the college. So same thing, the pre-health sciences, that sort of stuff. There are some pre-chiropractic diploma courses that you can complete in a year or 18 months. Which means you don't have to have an undergraduate degree. If you do want to go back and practice in certain states, in America, of course, some of those states require that you do have an undergraduate degree, so you need to be aware of that. But to graduate from this college, you don't have to have the undergraduate degree. It is a Bachelor of Chiropractic, which is very much misunderstood by a lot of people over there because we often get the comment, well, I want the doctor of chiropractic. Well, a Bachelor of Chiropractic is exactly the same as that degree. The Doctor of Chiropractic degree in the US is the equivalent of a Bachelor of Chiropractic degree, and you can call yourself doctor. So that needs to be sort of clarified a wee bit. There's a little bit of a cultural difference there. It's exactly the same degree. We have 2 semesters a year of 16 weeks. That's for the first 2 years. And in year 3 and 4, when you're doing an internship in the chiropractic center under supervision of registered chiropractors, we run that all year long. We just have a couple of weeks off over Christmas because we run it just like a practice, and our interns are expected to run it like it's their own practice, and they have to build their own numbers, their own people to come in, and they check them, adjust them when necessary, and they get all the chiropractic care all year round. So when you're in year 3 and year 4, you're going to be not in classes for the whole time. Class time is just 16 weeks per semester. You'll get a break in between, which is in July, which over here, of course, is winter, which will be a bit different. But, of course, you get a few months off, a couple of months off just over in summer here, which is obviously November, December, and start of January. So it's kind of interesting for international students to come over here and experience what it's like to have to go to the beach at Christmas and have a barbecue rather than have the white Christmas. So that's something that would be quite different. As I mentioned before, the New Zealand College is very much a family thing. We only have our chiropractic program. We don't have any other programs. We're very, very chirocentric. We're very much about trying to get the best graduates in terms of their understanding and articulation of what chiropractic is, and also their ability to check and adjust for vertebral subluxation wherever possible. We are not beholden to any other organizations or companies, so we don't accept big sort of donations from orthotic people or supplement people or anything like that. We keep it very, very clean. We're very, very interested in making sure that our students are well versed in all of the fundamentals of chiropractic without all of the peripheral stuff or the postgraduate stuff. We're not saying there's no value in that, but when you look at curriculum in chiropractic colleges, most of them suffer what's called a curriculum bloat, where they've got so much stuff, sort of peripheral stuff that they have to teach, that they're not getting enough of the real juice. So we're really, really focused on that. And our graduates are in very, very high demand all around the world. In fact, our fourth year students who are due to graduate on the 9th of December, just in a short period of time, they were all in jobs or employed or have opportunities well before September of this year. So there's a good opportunity for you if you graduate from this college, that you're going to be snapped up pretty quickly, or have the ability to start your own practice because you will be practice ready. And a lot of that is because of the supportive nature that we have here, with the faculty all being very much available. And like I say, because we are small and boutique, we know everyone. And we have a lot of fun here. We've got a couple of camps. Year 3 is one that's very, very powerful. When you first start in the chiropractic center seeing public people, we take the third year students in 2 groups for a week each to the Cook Islands, which is Rarotonga, which is about a 4-hour flight north of New Zealand, small island country. And we set up shop there for 2 weeks in 2 different camps. And our third year students are immersed into real life chiropractic. We still supervise them, and it's very much the same protocols as in the chiropractic center. But the people of the Cook Islands are so grateful for this, because they don't have chiropractic care over there. They don't have much really. And for us to go there and provide chiropractic care for them is such an eye-opener for the students, because it's like throwing them in the deep end. All of a sudden, they've got the theory they've been practicing on each other and faculty and staff, but now it's the real world, the real deal, and they have to get in there and do it. So it's a life-changing experience for them, and it gives them a great leg up into their building their own practice in the chiropractic center. So that's something that's pretty unique to us here. It's not like a mission trip like I see some of these other mission trips. It's part of our academic curriculum. And it is just a fantastic experience for the students, but also for us. I have the privilege of being able to go and help out and supervise with that. And it becomes quite emotional to watch these students just grow so quickly in such a short period of time. So that's one of the camps. The other camp that everyone talks about here is a camp that we take our students on first week of the first semester that they're here. We put them all on a bus. We take them up into the bushes to a camp. We do some leadership stuff, some team bonding, and we start to talk to them a little bit about who we are and what we do and why we do it the way we do. We have some lectures there as well. Bruce Lipton, who most people will be aware of, he's on our faculty, at least in the first semester of every year. And Bruce comes to the camp and does a few lectures. We talk to them about our values. We are a value-driven organization and what that means to us, what our vision and mission is. And really, it's a time for them to bond as a group, because they're going to be together for 4 years, 75 of them. And they're going to make great friends for life. So they get to know each other very, very well then, and it all sort of continues from there. And our completion rates are very high. If you start with 75 students in that class, 70 of them will graduate. They may not all graduate at the same time, but 70 of them will graduate. So we do have a high completion rate. I think it's not because the workload is easy. It's because of this supportive environment that permeates through the whole place. Students helping other students, faculty being available, and our pastoral care for international students exceeds what is expected by the government, which is pretty high, because we just see them as part of our family.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I also imagine that you're choosing students that you believe are fit for the program. Can you talk a little bit about the demographic that you have on campus, and if you were speaking to a prospective student, some of the qualities that might really help them in the program, and also are priming them for chiropractic or to be great chiropractors one day?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good question. We get asked quite a bit, and primarily our goal is to try and extract characteristics and qualities in people that we think are the sort of thing that would make really, really good chiropractors. So academics is not our first consideration. Obviously, it's going to be helpful if you are a strong student in terms of your academic ability, because it is a program that's quite challenging in a lot of ways, but it's very, very doable if you have the motivation to want to become a chiropractor. That's the one thing that is the most predictable in terms of outcomes of students becoming great graduates, is their motivation to become chiropractors. So their understanding of chiropractic, at least from a point of view that fits our model. Now, we're not here to say that our model fits everybody. We are very, very open about the fact that we're more about chiropractic than therapeutics. So it's a non-therapeutic emphasis on chiropractic. So we're more about optimizing potential and health and function rather than treating symptoms. Now, we're not saying that that's not an integral part of this, but unashamedly, that's who we are. So if you're someone who wants to be more about a slightly different objective, using chiropractic techniques to achieve a different objective, that's fine, but it's probably not us. So we're very clear about that. So we have in our application process, obviously an application form needs to be filled out. We ask you to write an essay in order to demonstrate your understanding of what chiropractic is, and why you would like to be a chiropractor. And then a little bit further down the track, we will do a one-on-one interview with you. Every one of our applicants gets interviewed by one of our faculty or our admissions staff, and it's a structured interview that's been designed by an industrial psychologist, actually, to try and extract whether this person has the qualities that we're looking for in a chiropractor. Things like empathy, understanding, listening, critical thinking, the ability to solve problems and things like that. So it's about a 40-minute interview that everyone gets, and it's marked. There's a rubric for it. The same as the essay, there's a rubric for that as well. And we also have an online critical thinking test that we ask the applicants to do in their own time. And it's an independently marked thing, and we get the marks from that, because as you probably well appreciate, Ben, being a chiropractor in practice requires quite a lot of mind juggling. You've got to take in a lot of different bits of information, assimilate that in a logical sense, and be able to come up with a plan of action that suits. And that's very much about critical thinking. So that's why we have that in there. Now, obviously, the academic performance is important, but not as important, because you can't actually even get in here unless you've completed all of the prerequisites, all of the pre-health sciences and the courses that go with that. But we're not just looking for straight A students.
Right on. Can you let's shift a little bit to sort of the strategic plan of the college. I know that you guys are well known for the research that you've done. Maybe you could touch a little bit on that, and also the lens that you're doing the research through, being more chiropractic oriented or chiropractic centered. But can you speak a little bit about what the future of the college is looking like? We're in 2020 now. Just like what's on your mind? What's in your focus right now?
from a strategic point of view, Ben, and I'm pleased you use that word, our board of trustees are very keen because we recognise that the fabric of the college, what makes it what it is, and the culture that we have here is largely because of this combination that we have within the domestic Kiwis and the internationals. We're working towards establishing eventually a student body that's pretty much 50-50 domestic and international. We really do appreciate the diversity that people from other countries bring and the different points of view, and it really adds to the mix. So from a strategic point of view, that's a stated objective. So we've got that. In terms of our focus, we have no intention of becoming bigger. We don't want to be the biggest chiropractic college in the world. We want to be the best. And so the mantra here is, and it's something I started a few years ago, and now the students all make fun of me. They all go around talking about being more excellent. And they got the irony in that comment, but that was my thing a few years ago. We just got to be more excellent. And excellence is one of our values. The values that we sort of use as the lens when looking at all college activities is gratitude, integrity, vision that's bigger than ourselves, love, and respect, and excellence. So those are things that we take pretty seriously. And our vision here is is a world of people expressing optimal potential. Now that's a big, hairy, audacious goal. But how do we go about achieving that? Well, that's our mission, and our mission is to educate great people to become the world's best chiropractors. And we think we're doing a pretty good job of that, but we're really very dedicated to doing it better, doing it much more excellenter, so to speak. And so we're trying to incorporate innovation in our education. Obviously, with COVID, that has had a bit of an effect on how we approach education, but we are fortunate enough to currently be the only chiropractic college in the world that's operating normally with full face-to-face teaching and practical stuff, that sort of thing. We're very lucky here in New Zealand that we only had to teach online for a relatively short few weeks, which we were able to do quite well. But as you know, chiropractic is very much a hands-on course. And here at New Zealand, at this college, we actually have about twice as much hands-on stuff as what the accreditation people would like us to have, only because we think that we wanted people, when they graduate, to be absolutely practice ready and be very, very proficient with their hands and their hearts and their minds. So I suppose the future of this college is all about just trying to stay at the edge of innovation and new ideas and just getting better. And as you mentioned, our research is very, very much driving that. The research department here, for our size, is producing a phenomenal amount of really useful research. And I say that not meaning disrespect to other research, but some of the research that I have seen is not very useful at all. I mean, first of all, we want it to be useful to the profession. As you can imagine, the people running our research department are actually graduates of this college. So they've had a pretty much an emphasis on how the relationship between the spine and the nerve system affects overall health and function. And so as a result of that, our research department is very much about that. So we're all about measuring brain and neurologic function and changes in that as a result of chiropractic care. And so that's perhaps what's made some of our research, well, Heidi Horvick is a bit of a superstar around the world now. Everyone knows who Heidi is, and Kelly Holt, who's our Dean of Research here at the college. They're just doing a great job because we've got collaborations with lots of other universities, and not just chiropractic universities. We're talking about people who are very, very leaders in their field in neurology, for instance, which I suppose, you're talking about emphasis, that sort of thing. Our emphasis is definitely on the neuromusculoskeletal, not musculoskeletal only. So there's a bit of a rift or some feelings in chiropractic circles at the moment. There's some people who just want to be musculoskeletal, and we're saying, well, actually, you're selling yourself about 99% short there, because it's all about the effect that the brain and the nerve system has on overall function and how we can affect that, and that's what our research is looking at. So we don't look at anything other than that, because that's what makes us tick.
Yeah, I just want to say I've listened to both of your researchers on stage talk about the relationships between chiropractic care and overall neurological function or expression in life, and it's really inspiring to see some of the philosophical roots of chiropractic show up in the literature today. So thank you for that contribution from your college, and any prospective student out there, whether you're interested in becoming a researcher in chiropractic or whether you just want a great education and to become a chiropractor, a true chiropractor who's ready for the real world after school. New Zealand Chiropractic College is one of the top schools in the world from what I've heard and from what I've seen. And so Dr. Mcmaster, thank you so much for sharing some insights with the prospective students. We've had multiple requests to do some interviews with New Zealand Chiropractic College representatives. So thank you. And we're going to be also speaking with, I believe, one of your admissions teams, Tori, in the near future. So we're just going to keep trying to build content to build context. And the more students have information about your school, I'm sure they'll make like an informed decision to head out there and become international students. Or any last messages to just differentiate, like if you were just to boil it down to one quick statement about, students that are considering maybe going to physical therapy or maybe going a medical path, how can we differentiate chiropractic in their mind and really help build that value for them?
I think the secret to that, Ben, is consider chiropractic as different. I think where sometimes it can be confusing is people consider chiropractic as part of another model, and we're not. Chiropractic is its own model, completely separate set of objectives than perhaps some of the other healthcare models, and that's okay. We have to consider that we form part of an arsenal that people can choose to use when they're making decisions about their health. But the one thing that I am absolutely sure of, and I know this with certainty, is that if your nerve system is not operating as accurately as it should be, it doesn't matter whatever else you do, you will not be operating as well as you should be on a functional level. So to me, it seems foundationally correct that you should make sure that your spine and nerve system are in really good shape. And then the other health decisions you make around that is really up to you, and it's what suits you. So as a practitioner, I think sometimes there's a tendency to want to mix all of this stuff in together. And I think the real value is in keeping chiropractic separate and distinct, and not thinking that it replaces anything else.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, man. And
thank you, Ben. I really appreciate that too. Look, if anyone is interested, we've just run a couple of online career talks just this week. If you go to our website, and I'm sure Tori will speak about this, we're running these online events. I'm usually over in the States and in Canada doing career talks, but of course at the moment we can't do that, but we're still very keen to have international students, and it looks like the New Zealand government is going to open our borders to international students sometime in the future. So we're still very keen to hear from you, and as I say, your people from all over that part of the world are very welcome here as part of our family.
Perfect. Thank you so much, man. Most definitely great talk. Valuable. valuable.